Faith can move mountains. Radio Maria 91.3 FM. The voice of truth.
Good evening, listeners, and welcome to another edition of the program, Someone Out There. This program is brought to you by Madonna Central Choir Alumni here on Radio Maria 91.3 FM, Abuja. Well, for those of you who missed out on last week's program, you missed a survivor story from Mr. Raymond, who happened to be a victim of kidnapping, but by the grace of God, he was released unscathed. You'll always be in our prayers, sir. Well, don't forget, this program is brought to you here on Radio Maria 91.3 FM, the voice of truth. And it's designed to help encourage those, not only like everyone, you out there, step out of your bad circumstances and into the light. It's designed to help bring forth encouragement to those in need. My name is Omego Amara, and here with me is my co-host, Mr. Bona.
Yeah,
How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you, Amara. Good evening, everyone out there. This is another edition of your favorite program on 91.3 Radio Maria FM. And today on this program, we shall be having a VIP guest. Our VIP guest is not yet in the studio, so we shall be having her in the studio. Pending, we shall be waiting for her to join us very soon. Then we shall be having also our guest artist, Mr. Joe King. Joe King is with us in the studio, looking at me with his SARS. We shall be hearing some sounds from his SARS this afternoon. Also in the studio, in fact, the studio is packed this afternoon. We have the Madonna Central Choir Alumni Abuja chapter in the studio today, and they shall also be singing for us today. Uh, Among them is the choir master of the uh, Abuja chapter alumni, who is also the Dinari choir master in Abuja diocese, the Ilugbe Dinari choir master in the person of Engineer Teddy Omarebe. He is also here in the studio today. So we shall be having a very good and good outing, I will say today, and it's a music affair. So thank you very much for joining us, and we shall be back after the break. Thank you. Welcome back. Today our VIP guest is not here, so we are going to go further today to discuss about choristers. Since we have a whole lot of choristers in the studio today, so let's talk about choristers today. And we are happy that we have Engineer Teddy Omarebe in the studio today, because our program, Someone Out There, is about people that feel depressed, people that maybe they have felt a kind of challenge, a sour or sad situation. And what we do here is to try to encourage them and to help them to get out of this situation. So, in line with this, I would like to ask Mr. Teddy, have you heard, have you had choristers that you feel that at some point they feel like withdrawn, drawn back, and they are not showing forth or coming forth for the choir activities or in what they do?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone out there. My name is Engineer Teddy of Morebe. Choristers drawn back, choristers not active. I think that is part of the choir. At every point in time, you have very active choristers. At the time, you have some drawn back for various reasons. So I would say yes, it's part of the choir.
Mm.
From time to time, being drawn back could be for also various reasons. But yes, it's just part of the choir.
Okay, so is there a particular reason, like, I would say, because, okay, let me give an instance. On this program, we've had people that have come here to tell us about some particular um, life situations that has affected them, maybe psychology wise, or to be withdrawn. Do you think that if you are to say, would you say that what happens to them is as a result of uh, maybe an encounter they've had in maybe within their environment. Some people will give experience of the situation of maybe insecurity, the situation last time around. Last week we had someone that came here and spoke to us about how he was kidnapped and how he was finally freed, how he was able to now scale through and pass through and then trying to get himself or together again and to bounce back. So the question I would like to ask is, in such situations, what do you think, or which solutions have you been able to proffer to these choristers? Are there some remedies, maybe ways that you have advised them to go in order to get through?
I would say for choristers, there are several reasons for being drawn back. Some of them are real, some are just act of imaginations. For example, being a chorister is a difficult, not very easy task. It takes your time, your resources, and some persons would not want to be in the choir because they feel it's expensive. I don't have the money to take care of copies. I don't have the money, the funds to get uniforms and things like that. So what do you do as a choir master? Sometimes we try to encourage them, get free copies. Some you support them in terms of mobility. In some cases, some choristers are drawn back because maybe the choir is too strict. Some do not want to keep to rules. If you are late, you have to pay a fine. If you are late, if you don't attend rehearsals, you cannot be with the choir to sing for mass on Sundays and reasons like that. So what we basically try to do is, what are these challenges, and try to make it easy. In terms of copies, we make free copies. In terms of mobility, sometimes we support ourselves just to ensure that everyone is carried along.
Wow. Wow. Like I said when we started, we have Joe King in the studio. Joe King is a musical artist, is a gospel artist, I would say. Mr. Joe King, and do you have, would like to just tell us about Joe King and then tell us about maybe if you've had some kind of, if you are following our discussions, maybe there has been times difficult or challenging moments that you've passed through. Yeah, you can hear me, right? So, I mean, tell us about one of those moments that you've had in your past as in your journey.
Okay, my name is Joe King. God has been faithful. He has been kind to me and my family. I can still remember when we got married, almost 10 years, there was no issue until God now gave us, gave me, gave my family, blessed us with two twins. That is with the twins. I gave all glory to Him because of His mercy. And from there, God is too faithful to disappoint me. He has been good to me and my family. After when God had blessed me with a twins, He gave me a son. Each time I sing the song, I flash back to what God had done to me. And if we are talking about the choir, the challenges that choir are having. For example, when you go to, that is to go and produce your song, there's one is finances. When you don't have finances, how can you go to the studio to? Secondly, church is also supposed to help the incoming artist that is coming.
Okay, so are you saying that you are trying to tell me that at some point the issue of childlessness was drawing you back, or it affected the speed at which you were moving at some point?
In life, when that challenges to weigh you down, you make sure you continue to be praying. You continue to focus because the word of God says in the book of Matthew 7, say, ask. When you ask, the Lord will give you. But it might take time. Only what you will do, just have patience.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you definitely. So, wow. Uh, So I'll be we're still here on this program, someone out there, and right here before me we have our guest artist today. His name is Joe King, and Mr. Teddy Omerebe, and the entire the members of Madonna Central Choir alumni. So, Mr.
Mr. Teddy, I would like to ask you a question. Like, over the years as a chorister, like, what's your most depressing moment? Like, what's your most, frustrating moment, and how exactly did you scale through it?
Is it as a chorister or as a choir master?
I, I would say as a choir master
So,
now.
master and chorister, I think it-
Okay, it's quite a difficult one. As a chorister, most depressing moment that I need to think about. It's really, I wouldn't say uh, I've had such moment as a chorister because joining the choir for me was more of the choir was like a home. I found home. So for me, every time, nothing takes me down as a chorister. But as a choir master, yes, there are these moments where you've planned so much, you've done so much, prepared so much, and the choristers do not give you that feel. For example, you come for rehearsals prepared to hit the ground running, and you come and the choristers are absent, various excuses, and you just meet few choristers. So as a choir master, you go back a little sad, and you wish everybody was there to actually deliver the song. So it's, I would say that's just it.
Okay, but like your choir is definitely made up of adults, and as we adults, we are quite difficult to handle. We're very stubborn sometimes. So, how do you handle choristers that are like that? You say sing and you're not singing, sit down, you're not sitting down. So, what do you do?
It's a difficult one. My policy had always been first, as a choir master, you must earn the trust of your choristers and their confidence. And how do you earn that? You must lead by example. And once you earn that, then it makes it much easier. What we try to do is set the rules, and you keep the rules, and adults are expected to keep the rules. And once the rules are set, we ensure that everyone, whoever the person is, abides by the rules. So if you do that as a choir master, it's easier because the rules are set. If you don't keep the rules, the consequences are there. The only time you have a challenge is when you begin to have favorites, and somebody doesn't keep the rules and you overlook the rules, then you're going to have a big challenge making sure that others keep the rules.
Okay. Um, that's a good one. So now we're going to like focus on choristers out there, not just choristers. If you actually think you have something to say, if you have some one or two things to contribute to us today, you can call in as well. And the number to call is 08108447518. 08108447518. You can send us an SMS and you can reach us via WhatsApp as well. I will be waiting. Um okay, one more question. Like how have your journey like in the ministry been as a chorister who has been in a choir for quite a while? Like share with us some of your challenging some of the challenges you've been through. Okay, some challenges that you've been through and advice that you can actually give someone out there who's
Like I was saying, I would encourage everyone out there, just like there was he who sings praise twice. If you are a chorister, just be assured that the blessings of God are sure, especially when you are dedicated to the cause. So it's not easy, like I said, it's tasking your time, your resources, you give it all. And the assurance is that God will certainly bless you. So for me, it's been testimonies of goodwill ever since I began this journey as a chorister.
Okay, so we are still here, someone out there on 91.3 Radio Maria. We also have in the studio Dr. Joseph Chukwuke, and he is the coordinator of Madonna Central Choir Alumni Abuja chapter. He's in this studio today. So I would like to, should I put this like, okay, I would like to find out, Dr. Big Joe, as a chorister also, how do you balance your profession as a medical doctor and your going for practices, going for rehearsals? Because every now and then choristers will tell you they don't have time, they cannot make it. So how do you balance it?
Good evening, someone out there. This is Dr. Joseph Chibukere. Yes, to your question, we don't have 24 hours. Nobody has more hours than us. So what we do is, because for myself, I love singing right from my childhood days. So I create time for what I love doing. Being a medical doctor has its own challenges through practicing. Then you find out whenever you know you have time for yourself, within the time you have for yourself, you create time for things you love doing. Because being a chorister can be on different levels. It can be something you do for fun, it can be something you do as a way of life, or make money from it. Some may use it as a form of prayer and worship. So for me, it is something I love doing, and it's something that brings me closer to God. So I create time for it.
Welcome back to the program, someone out there. Before we went on the break, we have with us our guest artist, Joe King, who will be performing for us today. So I assume you have one or two songs to sing for us today, Mr. Joe.
My song goes like this. Ima mio, ima mio, ima mio, anewo tente, Jehovah minkwe, mbawi toro, eridemia basimio, anewo tente, Jehovah minkwe. Imamio, Imamio, Imamio. Anewo tente, Jehovah minkwe. Mbo witoro, eridemia basimio. Anewo tente, Jehovah minkwe. Covenant keeping God, covenant keeping God, covenant keeping God, Jesus, covenant keeping God, Jesus, Jesus. You a covenant keeping God, Jesus, Jesus. You a covenant keeping God, covenant keeping God. You a covenant keeping God, covenant keeping God, Jesus. Covenant keeping God, Jesus, Jesus. You a covenant keeping God.
Wow, wow,
Wow,
that was
that was wonderful. I have goosebumps for that. Thank you very much, Mr. Joe.
No.
So I take it that your favorite instrument is the saxophone, right?
It's saxophone.
Aha. Okay, that was right. So are you a chorist as well?
I am.
Okay. So what parts do you sing in the
Sing
choir?
tenor, sometimes soprano.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Do you play any other instruments apart from
I play drums.
the drummer?
drums as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you write your own songs, right?
No. I have about 15 songs. I wrote the
Mhm.
one that they produced for me, and I have 3 videos which they have shot.
You're welcome back. Um, we have the Madonna Central Choir, and we shall be going for that performance. So, for your listening pleasure.
So out there, please pay attention to Madonna Central Choir as we give you Jericho's Wall by Sasam Ojukwu. If you remember Joshua chapter 6, 1 to 27, it teaches us that God is stronger than walls. Lesson of courage. Please listen and listen.
The Lord told Joshua to go to Jericho and to march 7 times around. He followed faithfully the blessed Lord's command, and the walls came tumbling down. If you are trusting in the power of the Lord and you hope to wear a crown, go forward deeply and obey the Lord's command, and the world will tumbling down. Yes, the world.
Yes, the world.
Yes, the world.
Yes, the world.
Came tumbling down. Joshua.
Joshua.
March 7 times around. Yes, the
Yes, the
world. Yes, the
world.
world came tumbling down, and the wall 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 came tumbling down. And the wall came tumbling down.
Wow, that was superb performance. A round of applause. Yeah, you can clap. Thank you very much. That was a very good performance. Do we have more? Do we have more? We want more of this.
Again, listen to the Magnificat, also known as the Song of Mary.
My soul now glorify the Lord, who is my Savior. Rejoice, for whom am I? The Lord has shown me favor. The world shall call me blessed, and wonder on my story. In His manifest God's greatness and His glory. seated, the kings will sit instead, are humbled and defeated. He fills the starving poor. He guides his holy nation, fulfilling what he swore. Long since in revelation. Then glorify with me the Lord who is my Savior. One holy Trinity, forever and forever.
That was a very good performance there, the Madonna Central Choir alumni. So we'll be taking final thoughts right now. Engineer Teddy, what will be your final words of encouragement to choristers out there?
My final words of encouragement would be simple. Choristers out there, never give up, never be discouraged. Remember, no matter how difficult it is, remain committed as a chorister because you are sure that every time spent as a chorister, every commitment, every sacrifice will certainly be rewarded. And knowing that the ultimate reward is eternal life. He who sings well, prays
Praise
twice.
twice. Wow. So Mr. Big Joe, the Madonna Central Choir alumni are here today, Abuja chapter, and you are the coordinator of this particular chapter. What would you say has been like going forward? What will you think? What will you say that is what has kept this chapter waxing in the way and manner it has been, and growing, so that you can give it as an encouragement or tip to some other choristers, some other choir masters out there, sorry, that are out there, just to encourage them.
Okay, being a chorister is a wonderful thing. I want to encourage people out there. You know, as a medical doctor, I found out back then in medical school that the brain of a singer is quite different from that of a non-singer. You can go check it out. They have more neural activities, you know, better ways of retaining good memories and stuff. So it has a whole lot of advantage, both physically, physiologically, and then spiritually. So for Abuja chapter, we are still growing. We are believing in our members, their sacrifices, their love for singing, because that is what brought all of us together. We all have that common love for songs, so that's why we can gather. If people can gather for bottles of beer and some other things, why don't we gather for Jesus in songs? So I believe that our choristers out there, make out time. We have 24 hours. Make out time. Go back to your school choir, the alumni, start up something. I bet you will not regret it. You'll be so happy, the kind of joy you're going to get, sharing past experiences as choirs from different areas, because I believe on graduation you'll be in different parts of Nigeria. So those are the things we are enjoying in Abuja chapter, hoping that more of our choristers out there will still remember to join. Sing praises.
To the Lord.
Lord. Wow, this has been a very wonderful episode, and we are rounding up right now. So we would acknowledge everyone that has been here in the studio with us. We have Justin Okoli, our keyboardist, that's right here in the studio. The soprano singers today are Barrister Loretta Omorebe, Miss Okpara Amarachi, and Tesipor is also here. Alto singers, we have Njoku Ijoma, we have Barrister, we have Dr. Big Joe, sorry, we have Teddy Omorebe, we have Mr. Ben Aguda, and we have Amara. Amara, my co-host, is also a chorister. Please, I have to mention that. I'm also a chorister, by the way. So you can, I mean, we are all of us are the same ship is carrying all of us, so we are not excluded. So all of us we sang. If you were wondering if we actually did, we sang. So all of us sang together and we enjoyed ourselves. So I believe choristers out there are already encouraged to go forth and continue whatever they are ministering. I will not forget to acknowledge also our guest artist for today, Mr. Joe King. So Joe King is here, and we enjoyed that saxophone from him, and we expect that maybe going forward, one of these days he might be able to. I mean, he might be able to come back to
Perform
give
for us.
perform for us. Yeah. So thank you very much.
I also want to say a very big thank you to our producers, Mr. Bernard Aguda and Mr. Hanacho Daniel, as well as the entire staff of Radio Maria 91.3 FM. And okay, quick question: do you have an inspirational story or an experience that could touch the lives of many out there, or do you have a voice, that voice that can actually heal the soul? Reach out to us at the same number 08108447518 via call, SMS, or via WhatsApp. And you could stand the chance of being here with us at Radio Maria 91.3 FM as our guest or artist. We'll be here once again next week, same time again on Radio Maria 91.3 FM, the voice of truth. So don't forget to tune in, for we'll be looking forward to having you. Do have a wonderful week ahead. My name is Omego Amara,
My,
and
my name is Bona Onyejiuwa. We'll see you next week.
thank you.